Chapter 13 Review. Find the volume and or surface area of the following solids. So to find the surface area of this rectangular prism, we want to add 2LW plus 2LH plus 2WH. So we know that the width is 3 and the length is 3 and the height is 2. So we're going to plug all of these in for length and width and height. So we have 2 times 3 times 3 plus 2 times 3 times 2 plus 2 times 3 times 2. So 3 times 3 is 9 times 2 is 18. Plus 3 times 2 is 6 times 2 is 12, plus 3 times 2 is 6 times 2 is 12. So we have 18 plus 12 plus 12, and that is 42. So the surface area is 42. To find the volume, we just multiply all of these together. So that is 2 times 3 times 3, and that is 18. So the volume equals 18. So these are two answers for number 1. Number 2, we find the surface area and the volume. So the surface area is base times height plus 4 times half base times height. So in this situation, the base and height is referring to this base and height for the square base of the pyramid. So we are going to say surface area equals 6 times 6 plus 4 times half base, which is 6, times height, actually let's not do this, times 6 times height, which is this guy right here, the 5. Okay, so 6 times 6 is 36, plus 4 times half of 6 times 5. 6 times 5 is 30. Half of that is 15. So we have 36 plus 4 times 15, which is 60. And, and that equals 96. So our surface area is 96. Our volume is 1/3 base, so that's big B, so that's the area of this square over here, times the height. So when they say height, they mean the height of the pyramid, not the height of the side. So we are going to say, we already know that the base is 36, so we are going to say 1/3 of 36 times the height, which is 4. So let's see, 36 times 4 is 144. So we have 1/3 times 144. So 144 divided by 3 is 48. So the volume equals 48, and our surface area equals 96. So these are our two answers for number 3. Number 5, we want to find the volume of this pyramid. So this pyramid has a triangular base. So to find the volume, it's 1/3 of the 1/3 times the base, that's big B, that means the area of the bottom of the pyramid, times the height of the pyramid. And in order to find the big B, the area of the base, it's half base times height. So what we're going to do is plug these in. So B equals 1/2 base, that's 6, times height is 8, and that equals 24. So now we want to plug it into the volume. So that is volume equals 1/3 24 times the height of the pyramid, which is 6, and this equals 48. And this is the answer for number 5. Number 7, the sandbox at the local elementary school is 60 inches wide and 100 inches long. The sand in the box is 6 inches deep. How many cubic inches of sand are there in the sandbox? So we are looking for volume, so we are going to be multiplying 6 times 60 times 100. So that equals 36000. So there are 36,000 cubic feet or cubic inches of sand in the sandbox. Number 9. If you double each edge of a cube, how many times larger is the volume? So to find the volume of your original cube, you just have the side to the exponent of 3, s cubed. If you double the side is 2s, and you cube that, so you have 2 cubed times s cubed, and 2 times 2 times 2 is 8s cubed. So if you look at here, you have s cubed and s cubed. There's an invisible one here. So you have a ratio of 1 to 8. Your new cube is 8 times larger. And that is your answer for number 9. Number 11. If a ball is 4 inches in diameter, what is its surface area? So remember, the equation for the surface area of a sphere is 4 times pi times r squared, where r equals the radius. We know that the diameter is 4, but in order to find the radius, we want to divide this by 2, since diameter goes all the way across the sphere and the radius only goes from the center to the edge. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. That means our radius is 2, and now we can plug it into the equation. So we have 4 times pi times 2 squared. So that is 4 times pi times 2 squared. That's 4. 4 times 4 is 16 times pi. So the volume of this sphere is, not the volume, the surface area of this sphere is 16 pi. Okay, number 13, a closed cardboard box is 30 centimeters long, 10 centimeters wide, and 20 centimeters high. What is the total surface area of the box? So what we want to do is first find the area of the front and the back. So the front and the back have a length of 30 and a height of 20. So we are going to say 2 times 30 times 20. Okay, then we want to find the area of the top and the bottom. So it has a length of 30 and a height of 10. And then we want to find the area of the sides. So there's one side here on the right and one side here on the left, and the dimensions are 20 by 10, so we're going to say 2 times 20 times 10. So 30 times 20 is 600 times 2 is 1200. 30 times 10 is 300 times 2 is 600. 20 times 10 is 200 times 2 is 400. So these are the areas of all of the sides, and now we want to add it all up. So 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 plus 12 is 2200. So the surface area of this cube is 2200. Okay, number 15. How many 1-inch cubes will fit inside a larger 1-foot cube? So if we want to find out the ratio of this big cube to this little cube, we want to convert from feet to inches. So remember that there are 12 inches in every foot. So let's find the volume of this large box using inches. So we have 12 times 12 times 12. And that is 1,728. So 1,728 of the 1-inch cubes will fit inside this bigger 1-foot cube. So that is the answer for number 15. Okay, so moving on to chapter 13, test number 1. What is the volume in cubic feet of the square pyramid below? So remember, the volume of a pyramid is 1/3 times base, that's big B. That means we're looking for the area of the square on the bottom times height, which is 12. So to find the area of the base, we are going to multiply length times width. So volume equals 1/3 7 times 7, which is 49, times 12, which is the height. So now we are going to multiply 49 times 12, which is 588, and we are going to divide that by 3, because when you multiply something by 1/3, it is the same as dividing it by 3. So 588 divided by 3 is 196. So let's look at our answers, A, B, C, or D, and B is 196. That means our answer is B. Number 3. Jack is going to paint the ceiling and 4 walls of a room that is 10 feet wide, 12 feet long, and 10 feet from floor to ceiling. How many square feet will he paint? So we know we want to find the surface area because we're not filling the room up with paint, we're just painting the walls. Kind of like the analogy I made earlier with wrapping a box with wrapping paper. We want to find out how many walls he's covering with paint. So we know he's not painting the floor, so we can ignore this side over here. So we want to find the area of the ceiling and the 4 sides of the room. So we know that the ceiling is 10 by 10, so 10 times 10 equals 100, so the ceiling has an area of 100. We know that the sides also have an area of 10 by, no, the front and back have an area of 10 by 10. The sides have an area of 10 by 12. So we are going to say 2 times 10 times 12, and then 2 times 10 times 10. So we have 100 plus 10 times 12 is 120 times 2 is 240 plus 10 times 10 is 100 times 2 is 200. So when we add all of this up, we have 540. So he is going to be covering 540 square feet in paint. And that is, hold on, that's not one of the answers. What is going on? Okay, 10 feet wide, 12 feet long, 10 feet from floor to ceiling. Okay. Oh, okay, I see. So this should be 10 times 12, and this should be 120. So instead of 100, we have 120 plus 240 plus 200, and that is 560, and that is B. Okay, number 5. What is the volume of the figure below? So as you can see, we have a big rectangular prism with a cube sitting on top. So we want to find the volume of each of these shapes separately and then add it up. So our big rectangular prism is 6 by 12 by 12, so we want to multiply those together. 6 times 12 times 12, and that has a volume of 864. Now we want to find the volume of the little cube, so that's 3 times 3 times 3, and that is 27. Now we can add them up. 864 plus 27 equals 891. And if we look at our possible answers, we get D. So D is the answer to number 5. Okay, number 7. Find the volume of the cone. Use the formula V equals 1/3 pi r squared h. So we know that the height is 14. We know that the diameter is 12. So in order to find the radius, we are going to divide the diameter by 2, and that means the radius is 6. So now we can plug these in. So volume equals 1/3 pi times 6 squared times the height, which is 14. So 6 squared is 36, and then we want to multiply that with 14, so 36 times 14 is 504. So we have 1/3 of 504 pi, And anytime you multiply something by 1/3, what you're really doing is dividing it by 3. So our answer is 168 pi. And let's look at our possible answers. It matches up with C. So C is our answer for number 7. Number 9, compute the entire surface area of the three-dimensional object shown below. So what we need to do is we need to find the surface area of the top and the surface area of the bottom, which we can't see, but we know it exists. So let's see, this is 30 by 30. We know the bottom is 30 by 30, so that's, and the top is 10 by 30, so we know that this is 30. So plus 10 times 30. Okay, so that equals 900 plus 300, and that is 1200. So that's top and bottom. We also have these two tops over here. So that is also 2 times 10 times 30. So that is 600. So we are going to be adding 600 to this 1200. Let's draw a line. Okay, and then now we need to find these going up and down. So we know the height is 10, the width is 30. So, and we have 3 of those. So we have 3 times 10 times 30. So that is 900. So we are going to be adding 900 to this running tally below. And this is probably going to be the most difficult one, this side that kind of looks like stairs. So we can separate them into 3 different shapes, and then we can add them all up. So this first square over here is 10 by 10. So that is going to be 100. The second one over here is 10 by 20, so that's 200. And this last one over here is 10 by 30, so that is 300. So 100 plus 200 plus 300 is 600, and there's one of these on the other side of this shape, so that is 600 times 2, and that is 1200. So now let's add all of this up. So we have 1200 plus 600 plus 900 plus another 1200. And that equals 3900. So let's look at our possible answers. That does not match up. What am I missing? The back side. So the one that's going straight up and down and across over here, we can't see that. So that is 30 by 30, and that is 900. So let's add another 900 to this 3900, and that is 4800. And that matches up with A. So the answer to number 9 is A. Okay, number 11. Daniel of Daniel's Ice Cream is trying to figure out how big to order the wrappers that go around the waffle cones he sells. In order to figure this out, he must find the surface area of the waffle cone shown below. The cone is 3 inches in diameter. What will its lateral area approximately be? So we know that if we have the surface area, then that includes all of this plus the circle on top. But since the circle is going to be open, because how else are you going to get all that yummy ice cream deliciousness into the cone, we're only looking for this part, the lateral area, the sides, the part without the circle. So the formula for that is pi times r times s. So r stands for radius, s stands for slant height, which is this over here, this 5. So we know the diameter is 3. In order to find the radius, we want to divide that by 2. So the radius is 3 divided by 2, and that is 1.5. So now we're going to plug this in. So pi times 1.5 times 5, and that equals 7.5 pi. So if we look at this, it matches up with C. So number 11 equals C. And that is it for the Chapter 13 test.